Look at all this squash under there. That's a glorious sight to see. There's even more on this plant. Nothing really over there. There's 1, 2, 3 actually. Little babies. If you guys have been here for a while, you'll understand why I'm so excited about that squash. I have been trying and not giving up, and I think this year is gonna be my best squash harvest yet. We've got lots of little baby cantaloupe hiding. I can't find any more right now, but I promise we do. I'm really excited. Hopefully they make it fully. I mean, look at this one. That's a decent size. Can't wait to eat a cantaloupe from my garden. Here's another little baby cantaloupe hiding behind there. Oh, and another one there. I'm so excited. Oh, there's another one. Right there. Lots of baby future pickles, cucumber salads. This one's a little wonky. We had some drought and then some rain. But nope, the cucumbers are doing great. It's a struggle trying to keep all the bugs off. That guy right there, he knows I'm looking at him. Right there. And that one right there. Ah! That guy. Those guys and stink bugs. I constantly have to be out here looking for them, or they're just gonna take over. This is not the best time of day to be filming. It's very bright and very hot. But I just showed you guys all the squash on this plant here. I didn't realize this was a vining squash until yesterday when I saw all this new growth coming up right here. And I was like, what are you doing? That's so strange. And then I realized that this whole thing is a leader. I didn't know that. So I'm gonna have to figure out, I'm gonna have to train this guy. He's starting to encroach on the cucumbers and cantaloupe that's growing here. These cucumbers, I'm sure I knew when I planted them, but forgot. Ooh, look, another little cantaloupe. Are like the little tiny munchers. They don't get big at all. Let me find one. There we go. So, this one's a little wonky, but that's about as big as they get. My corn's tasseling. Unfortunately, this is several different varieties that are going to cross-pollinate, which I don't really care. It's all sweet corn, so hopefully I'll get all sweet corn, but it's already sent out its little things here. It's getting pollinated, and I'm gonna have corn. Look at it. This is the first planting, and we still got these guys over here. I apologize for how bright it is out here. I need to mulch this, but I really want to water it again first. Here's another planting of corn. These need to be fed. They're very light color. Need to feed those. This was the other planting of corn. You can see they are also doing their thing here. I harvested my first eggplant last night, and I made a ratatouille inspired dish just using eggplant, squash, onions, and garlic and tomatoes. All that I grew except for the onions and garlic. I haven't been able to do that yet. You can just dice them up and like cook them down, and it was pretty good. My first time growing eggplant, first time cooking with it. Oh, you turds. Man, I was waiting. This one only had a couple more days, I think. I'm sure I could still eat it, right? Probably, maybe. There's a couple more on here. I gotta wait for these to get like 7 or 8 inches long. Actually, how long is that? 5 or 6, I'm thinking. Let's see, there's more under here. This one has a bug on it I need to get. Got bell peppers. Look at that. I'm gonna be harvesting bell peppers soon. My succession sowings of squash are coming up in all the places. I forgot a cucumber down here. I don't know how much more this plant will do now that it's making seeds, but I did want to save the seeds for next year, so that one will give me what I want. I got bit by something or stung by something last night. I came out to the garden to grab a few herbs to make that ratatouille inspired dish I was just telling you about. I needed I need thyme, rosemary, and some cherry tomatoes. And something got me. I didn't see anything, but it was pretty bad. It was on this hand here, and it looks fine today, thank goodness, because this whole hand swelled up so bad. The whole hand itched. I think whatever got me in between my fingers right there, and it was just red and all swollen, and I started freaking out just because I didn't know what it was. If it was something poisonous, some kind of spider, if I go to the hospital, they're gonna have to know so they can give me the anti-venom or whatever it is, and I couldn't find anything. So I went to bed kind of scared, but it's fine today. I'm thankful for that. I harvested my first cayenne peppers the other day, still green, but that's because I want the plant to continue forming flowers and fruit. If you let the first fruits that you get on your plant go to seed, the plant's gonna think that it's done its job, and it's not gonna put any more blooms on. So even if like I said, these are green, you know, I was picking some small cucumbers, the first couple of cucumbers that were on the vines. I picked them small so the plant would keep producing, and now I've got lots of them. So I've got these cayennes I'm just gonna pull off, and then jalapenos, I'm gonna wait for them to get just a little bigger, you know, like a full-size jalapeno, before I start tearing them off. But I don't want to leave them on here until they get red, until the end of the season. I went and bought some worm castings the other day when we had all that rain. It was Jess from Roots and Refuge. She was talking about your squash plants. If you've got a squash plant or any plant that has a lot of fruit on it, but it's just not growing, it probably needs to be fed, especially after a lot of rain, which we did have. So I went and got some, and I'm going to sprinkle this out here, and then I'm going to water in a little bit, because I want to put down another layer of hay in some places, and I want to make sure that there's plenty of moisture there before I do that. So I have applied this to some of my plants already. I made a compost tea with it, or I guess, yeah, worm casting tea, I guess would be the right term there. But then we got a whole lot more rain, so I feel like I need to reapply some, and don't really feel like doing the tea, so I'm just gonna sprinkle this in here. I don't think this tomato in this bucket's gonna make it. It's not looking so hot. Oop, that did not go where I wanted it to go. I don't think you can put too much worm castings since it's natural, you know. Could be wrong. I've been trying to only water at the base of my plants, which is getting very hard with these trellised plants because they're all over the place. But I was trying to avoid this stuff. But obviously when it rains, I have no control over what's going on, and I've got to try to let that go, which can be hard for me because I am a bit of a perfectionist. And when my garden doesn't look perfect and my leaves don't look perfectly healthy, I start to get depressed, and it makes me want to quit. And I'm trying to work through that. I am trying to appreciate that nothing is perfect other than God and His plan. But aside from that, there's absolutely nothing perfect. And even plants that grow in the wild, the garden that God tends, that He planted and He tends, gets disease, it gets sick, things go wrong, and that's okay. It's all part of the process. When these plants die, they feed the soil and make it healthier for next year's garden. Maybe not so much when they die of disease. I really should pull them out of the garden and burn them, get rid of them, because I don't want to keep that disease in my soil. But if it's just dying from a natural progression of things, then it's just gonna help the garden. I know a lot of people are scared of wasps, and trust me, I am too. But they're a friend in the garden. I'm not sure exactly what their role is in pollination, but I do know that they eat a lot of the garden pests like tomato hornworms. I've seen them carrying them away, so try to avoid them, but maybe don't try to kill them. Could have been one of these guys that got me, or one of those guys. Tree ants, yeah, those do me real dirty. Those and yellow flies tear me up, so it could have been one of those. Is there a stink bug somewhere on me? Anywhere? I keep smelling it. Maybe it's in my hair somewhere. I keep smelling it. I can't find it. Little mushrooms. I wonder what kind those are. Interesting. He's got to be somewhere in my clothes. Where is it? He's somewhere. And more mushrooms. These like look like little puff balls. Actually, that's exactly what they are. I don't know what kind. I don't think the edible ones. That's the spores of that mushroom. Millions and millions of basically mushroom seeds, though they're not technically seeds. That's how they reproduce. I always think it's so cool. Whoop. Okay guys, I think that's going to be it for this video. Just a little walk around, looking things over with me. I just remembered that I processed some elderberries. I steamed them. I got a steamer, a juicer, a steam juicer, a couple weeks back for juicing the berries that I use to make jams and stuff. Anyway, I processed some elderberries. I got half a gallon of juice, and stuck it in the outside fridge last week and forgot. I really need to do something with it so it doesn't go bad, because that was like a year's worth of collecting those berries for that. So I need to go figure that out. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys.